Om Akhandamandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Hari Om. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramakrishnaaya. Respected Swami Vimokshananda, Brother monks, Swami Vimokshananda and Swami Sarvastananda and all their devotees. I am really pleased to be at this holy shrine today in meeting all the devotees here on this retreat day. As Swami Sarvastananda has kindly explained to you the circumstances that we came here, and then this has been well utilized, I think, by him by organizing a retreat and a program outside. When you enter this ashram, this center, at the main entrance when you enter, you see a board. A plaque is there. It is written Vedanta Center. All of you must be seeing it again and again. What is Vedanta? Anybody can tell me? What is Vedanta? What is meant by Vedanta?
To know yourself.
Very good. The core, he has gone to the core. The Vedanta is to know yourself. So what Vedanta teaches is to know yourself. What is that yourself that you are speaking subjectively? What is that I? That is a very big question. That question has been exercising the human mind for a very, very long time. From the ancient times, the question was raised, who am I? Am I this body? Am I the sense organs? Am I this universe that I am seeing outside? Or is there anything inside which is beyond all these things? Is there or not? If there is something, whether that I is only for today or for a particular time, or is it immortal? These questions have been exercising our rishis' minds, and they have been wonderful discussions on some of the best scriptures of the Hindus. Vedas are our scriptures. And there is every Veda, that we have got 4 Vedas. Not the 4 Vedas as separate books. Vyas Maharishi arranged them or categorized them in 4 parts. Actually, Swami Vivekananda says, Vedas does mean the knowledge of God. Knowledge of God doesn't have the beginning, neither it has any end. That's why God is infinite, and the knowledge about Him also must be infinite. Tulsidas beautifully says, Hari Anant, Hari Katha Ananta. Of course, our Sarvastanji name is Anant Maharaj. Infinity. So Hari Katha Ananta, the glories of God must be infinite, because God's nature is infinite. Now, this I, it is being searched for in the Upanishads, that Upanishads are part of the Vedas, which come at the end portion of the Vedas. So it is called Vedas, that is, in English if you say, the Anta of the Vedas, Vedanta. That is one meaning. The second meaning is, as our dear devotee pointed out in the beginning, that the end of the knowledge. In knowledge also, There are a lot of things to know. How many things are yet to know for us? When I was reading second class, in Tamil I was reading in Madras at that time, one great rishi, like a woman, a very old woman, she was called Avai. She wrote a lot of hymns on different deities, Ganesha, Muruga, etc. She wrote a lot of philosophical treatises also, in one line, sutra form. So she said, Katrathu kaiyalavu. I do not know if everybody understands Tamil. I will explain to you in English. Katrathu kaiyalavu, kalladhathu ulagalavu. What you know is this much. Kaiyalavu, this much. You take rice like this. How much you take rice? It is countable. It is finite. And the knowledge which is beyond you is infinite. So, the infinity, which is equivalent to God, has been found out by our rishis. That infinity is everywhere because it has to be everywhere, otherwise it cannot be infinite. Otherwise there is a logic falsification will come. If you say that it is infinite as well as it is not here, it is not there. You cannot control it like that. When you say infinity, it must be everywhere. That one, if everywhere is there, is that God within me also? The question comes. And the search starts. And the search goes on and finds out that there is infinity within me. You are infinite, thou art infinite. So, Swamiji used to very happily say again and again, all knowledge is within you, he used to say. So the knowledge is within us. The entire Vedas are within us. Because it is infinite and within me there is infinity, so the knowledge of God is infinite. Now when you see that, how does the human being as an individual can connect it to the infinity? It is very difficult to think I am infinite. Why? Because I have a body, I have senses. How many sense organs we have? 5. You know all because you are Vedanta students, you must be knowing. We have got 5 sense organs, and 5 sense organs have got respective different types of 5 sense objects. So each organ, for instance, vision, hearing, smell, taste, touch, these 5 organs have to have objects corresponding to that organ. It cannot be different. That means you cannot taste by your ears. You require mouth. You cannot hear by your eyes. You require ears. Likewise, each organ has got a particular. So there are 5 types of objects are in this universe. And these 5 types of objects can be accessed, can be grasped by the mind through these 5 sense organs. So 5 sense organs are tools in our hands. So these tools have to be properly thought of. One of the tools is hearing. Our ears, 2 ears God has given. And with 2 ears we are able to receive the sound, and it's such a beautiful way that we receive. And what is this sound? This sound is something, a subject that has been brought out in our Upanishads. Chandogya Upanishad deals with the sound, how it comes in the space, and how it comes for or runs through the air, the wind, and how it reaches our ears, and then how the ear, which is a sense organ, takes it to the brain, and then mind absorbs that. So just now we have been hearing for I should say, I regret that only half an hour we could give Priyanka such wonderful music she did. We should have given her 1 hour, I say.
In the afternoon.
Okay, thank you. Because such a beautiful way she was singing the bhajans, and it was something, a classical mixed or the bhajan she was singing, so I could enjoy that ragas. So, you see, the sound is coming slowly into my ears. And then that there is a process of taking that sound that I received by the ears to the brain. And then brain analyzes it and then mind grasps it. So the sound is very important for us. It is one of the five sense organs. Likewise, in this universe, through any sense organ, one can reach to the ultimate, because they are all taking us inside. So the sound is a big thing. When we think of sound, there is on all these five types of sense experiences, if you want to say that, can you give a particular icon for that infinity? You cannot. By the four sense organs, only one sense organ can come at least nearest to that infinity, not the other sense organs. For instance, touch. Whatever I touch through my two hands, that will be finite only. Can go from cannot go behind. You see, there is a limitation. Likewise, touch, like the other four sense organs. But you come to the ears, the sense organ of hearing. So the Rishi says, such a good hearing you have. That's why he said, hear, hear, hear. Shravana has been given so much of importance in the Upanishads and in the Puranas. It is because Shravan, you must hear. When small boys are given Yajnopavita, Janu, at that time the Guru gives him the Gayatri Mantra. In which ear he gives Gayatri Mantra? In the right ear. The boy has to show his right ear, and the Guru gives the Gayatri Mantra. The mantra should be put into your ears. When my Guru initiated me, I was all alone in Mumbai Ashram. When Holy Mother's Shrine, I was initiated. And I went there. And I was thinking he will tell the mantra and I will listen. No. He said, come, come. And I had to go very near to him. He said, turn your ears, he said. Then I had to turn my face like this. And then he pronounced the mantra. That is a sound. A sound is grasped by the ear and taken to the mind. What is that sound? Is there any sound that can signify infinity? Yes. Rishi says, one sound is there, which is the basic sound of sounds, and that is Om. That is which is very, very knowable by us. We all sing Om. In this shrine itself there is Om. Or above Ramakrishna you will find the Om. Om has to be above. In many temples you will find on the top. In South Indian temples, Om is written on the top of the Gopura. Why? Om is the primordial sound symbol of the infinity. But in neither of these other four organs you can bring any symbol of the infinity, because they are limited. Only the sound can be given. Sound symbol of infinity, which is Om. So Swami Vivekananda defines Om as a sound symbol. It is true. When a dot is, just imagine, I am telling you to imagine, because this is not in our experience. So when it is not in our experience, we have to imagine certain things. And while imagining, and when imagination becomes perfect, pakka, then you will be able to understand the significance of that. In Om, you see, it has been designed in such a way. And it is the greatest discoveries of the ancient Hindu mind, which has not been found out in any other civilization. And everyone has borrowed this Om. whether it is Buddhism, Jainism, Zoroastrianism, and also Christianity and any other. If you want to put your mind back, take your mind back to your source, this Om help is required. That's why everywhere you find Om has become so important. Time magazine brought out one full issue on Om, Omkar Sadhana, it is called. There are different retreats I have conducted only on Omkar Sadhana in South Africa. Only Omkar. On that day there is nothing, no other gods with figures or with forms or without forms, nothing. Only Om is our focus. So with Om, because Om is the nearest to the infinity, you will find there are 4 curves are there in Om. You will find there is the upper curve. Say, for you to see, I am telling from here, upper curve, and then it goes like this, a lower curve, and in the middle there is curve. So 3 curves you will find, and above the third curve there is another 4th curve, and then there is a dot. That is what I was trying to tell you, that dot. Think a time was there when the universe started springing up. So it is said from a dot, the universe expands. So the expanding of the universe, the scientists are telling, it is a Big Bang theory this is. The word itself used by the scientists is Big Bang. Bang represents sound. The dot is the starting origin point of the entire universe. So that the dot is very important in Om. In whatever language you see, yesterday I was seeing the Om in different languages of the world. And very strangely, the similar features are there, in of course in Thai language, in Pali language, like that, many languages, but the dot is not missing anywhere. The dot is there because that is the origin. The dot must be there on the top. You start with that dot. Though when we write, we start writing, from the O we write. First you put O and then you give the middle one and then put the Chandra and then Bindu. So the Chandra is given and then Bindu is given. So you find, but it's actually if you read it from the top, if you see it, your eyes see from the top, then the Bindu starts. So Swami Vivekananda says, Om signifies the beginning, that is the production, or it is the beginning and continuation and then completely dissolving. So these 3 activities are indicated by the Om. So we say Srishti, Sthiti, Vinash. Srishti, Sthiti, Vinashanam, Shakti Bhute, Sanatani. Sanatani, that energy that creates, preserves and destroys, is Sanatani. That energy was not born yesterday and is not going to die tomorrow. Sanatani, it is always there. And Shakti Bhute. How it has been there? That energy has been condensed, as it were. Shakti Bhuta. Condensed energy. That condensed energy is forever it stays. Now these 3 actions of the infinity is indicated by Om. Now to come up to this conclusion, Swamiji explains Om in this way. That Om is a sound symbol and Om has got 3 letters. You all know that. A, U, Ma. That's what we say. That Ma, as they pronounce it, is not full Ma, it is half. So A is there, U is there, and then So you close your lips. When you say A, the sound comes from the larynx, throat. Vocal cord is there, sound comes A. But then larynx is at rest, mind you. Is at rest. Palate doesn't move. Your tongue doesn't move. When I am speaking to you, now the words are coming out. Words is vak. This vak is coming out in the form of different types of sounds as created by, and since we do not know what it is, we have devised later on, much later, after the human civilization came up, much, much later, we designed the lipi for the sounds. The lipi was not there earlier. Only the sound was there. That's why the Vedic Upanishads were all transmitted by hearing. I hear from my guru, then I teach to my student, and that student teaches his student. Likewise, from hearing on by stage or generation by generation, it has come. So it is called Shruti, that which is heard. So Vedas, the portion that we call Upanishads, are all Shrutis, very important of the Hindu scriptures. Though practically we have lost touch with that, and now even the Puranas, which came to exemplify the Vedic truths, they are also slowly being forgotten. Even the elders, 70-year-old man reading Amar Chitra Katha to know what is the Purana. Because we have never been taught. We have lost touch with the Puranas. Ramayana, Mahabharata, do we tell our children? No, yesterday when I was talking about Sister Nivedita, I told one example. One greatest painter, artist of Bengal, he wrote a painting, such a big canvas painting was there, and Nivedita went and looked. A foreign woman, mind you, Irish woman, brought up in England, she went to India to give her all. In her samadhi in Darjeeling, this is what written. Here, Sister Nivedita lies, who gave her all to India. Everything she gave, her money, her efforts, her whole body for the development of India. And that lady, how much she has understood our ethos, not we. So she was teaching Nandalal, who was a young boy at that time, painter, and he started his painting career, and he painted, and he's telling his sister, see my painting, beautiful painting. What is the painting? A story from Ramayana. Kaikeyi was lying on the floor because she has asked the boon, 2 boons from her husband, Dasharath. And Dasharath was completely perspiring. And he was almost going into soon. That is the condition when Kaushalya is standing next to him and fanning him. This is just one imagination from the Ramayana. And then Sister Nivedita saw that and she told the painter, what are you doing? How you have painted? You have given a normal, ordinary fan in the hands of Kaushalya. Do you know who was Kaushalya? He said, yes, she was the Maharani. Then do you think Maharani will use the ordinary fan? Give her a silver fan. The fan should silver look, How much detail one can go into it. It's amazing to see a foreign woman coming into India, absorbing the Indian cultural values. See, we are not telling Ramakrishna Mission is a progressive organization. Our monks are very progressive. The digital monk, as Sarvasthananji is called. So, very, very important that they are all very advanced and progressive. We don't say that you read only your Puranas and stay there. We don't say that. But bring out the ideas of the Puranas and absorb them in your culture. And that is what culture. Teach the children what our Puranas say and give them those values of those Puranas and let them absorb them. Nivedita got absorbed by staying with her great Guru Vivekananda. Swamiji was such a dynamic, he was a dynamo. So he could give the Shakti by seeing. In Great Master, Swami Sadhananji explains what are the types of Diksha. And one type of Diksha he says, merely seeing, you can transfer the mantra. Transfer the sound of the mantra to your disciple. Merely seeing, just look at him and then you can transfer the mantra. So such great power Swamiji had, and Nivedita absorbed the Indian cultural matters. And that's why now this Om, which is, I said that is the infinity sound symbol, has got 4 bends and 1 dot. We come to Mandukya Upanishad. Mandukya Upanishad analyzes. It has got only 12 sentences. You will find all those ancient scriptures are all in verses. in poetic form. Why it is poetic form? Then you can remember. Baba, black sheep, have you any wool? We still remember that. Also in my kindergarten's time, I read it, I by-hearted it, and because it was a verse. If it is a prose and 15 lines, well, I would not have been remembering that. So poetic way, telling anything is that's why in Indian languages, vernaculars, whether it is Hindi or Bengali or Tamil, anything, these Ramayana, Mahabharatas were sung, not written in the story form, in prose form. They were all sung in verses, so that people can hearing, they can remember the verses. And the verses are great. So that they say that Mandukya Upanishad is an exception to that. It has got in prose order. That is the greatest surprising thing, how it came like that. Prose order and only 12 lines. And in those 12 lines, the description of Om, approaching Om from different angles, as a man's personality in 4 phases, as a man's living in 4 phases. One of the things that Mandukya Upanishad analyzes about Om is how it is connected to our 4 phases of living. It says that we have got conscious state, awareness state. That is called awakening state. We are awakened. If I tell you where are you sitting, you must be immediately tell me that I am sitting in Vedanta Center's shrine. You must tell me that. Why? Because you are aware. You are aware that where you are. So immediately through the sense organs that we can perceive immediately and get into the brain, and that is called waking state. We live in waking state. There are many hours. In 24 hours, if you calculate how many hours you live in waking state, you'll be surprised. That is the maximum. 2/3 of your life per day, in 24 hours, you are supposed to be in the waking state. And there are yogis who did not even live that 1/3. Even that 1/3 also they included. Hardly they would sleep. As for instance, the Parama Yogi Swamiji, he had very little sleep. 2 hours, 2.5 hours sleep, that's all. Sri Ramakrishna spent 6 months without winking his eyes, no sleep. Great yogis are there, they are capable of staying in the waking state 24 hours. But we cannot do that. We are normal people. So we have not practiced that type of austerities, that type of spiritual practices, so we cannot do that. But even then, normally it is taken for 2/3 of your time is spent in waking state. So the first one, the upper one, shows the waking state. Then come to the middle bend. Middle bend signifies dream state. Dream state also we live in. We are not dead, mind you. When you go for sleep, we are not dead. We are living. But though we are living, we are not in waking state, but in what state we are? We sometimes, or most of the times, we go into a dream state. The dream state is something wonderful. Dream psychology, if you start talking, you need two days for that. A dream psychology itself can be a subject for one day retreat. So much things are there to know about dream. And through the dream, you can know about your personality. So dream is considered as a very important tool in psychology to understand your own true nature. So there is a dream state. The down below, there is a bend, and that bend says sleep state. Sleep state means where there is no dream. It is called dreamless. English, there is no word for that. In Sanskrit, of course, we have beautiful words. Jagrat, awakened. Swapna, dream. Sushupti, sleep. It's not merely sleep. Sleep includes dream, mind you. But dreamless sleep, is there any word? Perhaps English doesn't have. But then Sanskrit has got. Why? Because we are all thinking about these things. Every language progresses, accumulates words according to its nature of the culture. When you go deep into you and try to think about that, then you will find even our mind, mental stuff, as it is called in Vedanta, chitta, man, buddhi, ahankara. For the same mind only. In English you use mind for all this. Chitta also you say mind. Buddhi also you many times call mind, though there is another word, intellect. And man also you say mind. And ahankara is ego. When I comes, that also you say mind. So the mind is used interchangeably for all these four states of being. But then our languages have gone much deeper into it, and because the culture was such, they want to go inside. They were not satisfied with the external world. So when you go deep into it, you need words. Otherwise, how will you understand? So the words were invented. Slowly, the words got accumulated. That's why there are many, many words. Swamiji says there is no English equivalent. In England only. In one of his lectures in England, Swamiji says, he declares, I am sorry I have to use the same word again and again to you. What is the word? God. In absence of suitable word, he says. Brahman, Nirakara Nirguna Brahman, Sakara Saguna Brahman, Ishvara, and then these holy trinities, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and then Avatar, and then Guru. All these words are interchangeable, and you can use particular connotation, only these words can be used. But in English, you do not have words giving to these ideas. So what happens? One word is the God. So that you use. And that has created a lot of confusion also. In some scriptures you will find, in Swamiji's, what's also in Guru Maharaj's Gospel also you will find, how the defective is their concept comes. Some place Guru Maharaj says, God cannot be realized. In English you read. And some other place Guru Maharaj says, God can be instantly seen. How it is two different types of expressions? Because in original language, if you read, he has not used the word God. He has used another words. Brahman cannot be realized. Brahman cannot be told outside. He says, Brahman cannot be expressed. He didn't say, but in English when you translate it, you have to translate God cannot be expressed. But in another place, he says, yes, God can be Vishnu, Shiva can be seen. So it is a personal. Nirguna, Saguna, Sakar. His meaning, Bhagavan. When you say Bhagavan, that means that. So Bhagavan can be seen. So at that time also in English you have to write, God can be seen. Then you read English. And hey, one place God cannot be understood. Another place God can be seen. How it can be? Is it not contradictory? Because you are not using different words. That's why Swamiji says, apologies, I have, because for want of a better word, I am using the word, he says, Atman. There is no English translation to that. So Swamiji uses the same word, Atman. You cannot put it. So every language grows according to its inherent features of the humanity who were using that language for what purpose. So the supremest, easiest and excellent language for business is undoubtedly English. Nobody can doubt that. Because English is so malleable, so much adjustable, and you can give it in different, even pun. When you use pun, you can so beautifully use that pun, and in English is giving you such a lot of joy. So I wanted to learn English through Swami Vivekananda. Reading his complete works only, I could get something of English, even though I am not very perfect in English. So that Indian accent is always there, But then, such each language grows like that. Chinese like that. So when you say that, every language grows according to the people who use that language, and the cultural impact of the people has got great impact on enriching the language. So now we are coming to this Om. And the dot, as I explained to you in the beginning, is the origin. So he says, Vivekananda gives an explanation which is simply stunning. When I read first, I got stunned. Oh, I never knew whom represent this. He says, this A, the first syllable, first alphabet, A, that larynx has got no work, it is resting, and your tongue also is not moving. So, in fully restful place, compare this with Brahman is resting. Brahman has got no restlessness because he has got a Brahman cannot be active. It is absolute rest, if you want to say, of something. Only in Brahman we can have absolute rest. From there, Swamiji brings out this idea that when the creation comes, at that time, pre-creation situation is absolute rest. So, when larynx is quiet, tongue is quiet, you open your mouth and say ah. Say ah and see whether your tongue is moving or not. It's not moving. So when I go to doctor, my Seva Pratishthan, when I was in Seva Pratishthan, before 95, 93, I was there in Seva Pratishthan. And one doctor used to come to us, and he was our resident doctor, a specialist. And I'm happy that today he has come here. He's sitting here. So when I used to go to him for some problem, he used to say, open your mouth. He won't say, open your mouth. What he would say, say ah. That's what he would say. So I would say ah, that means you open your mouth. Larynx is at rest. Tongue is not disturbing. Doctor can clearly see through his tool that how is your throat. That is he says, when larynx is at rest and tongue is not moving, the first letter A comes, which signifies the beginning of this universe. Universe has started. And that starting is continuing. Now, Srishti we are saying, and Sthiti. Sthiti means subsistence, or it is staying, living, continuing. How it can be said? Say, you close your mouth, bring the lips together, and say ooh. When you say ooh, the sound is coming, and your tongue becomes little curved, and then the sound continues, it goes on continuing. From here to here, the air comes out and it continues. This continuation aspect is called sthiti. So, U is there. And it is not ma. As I told you, it is half of ma and it is So, when you say what happens? Your lips close down. The mouth is closed. You can't keep your mouth open and say Try. You can't say. It is not possible. So you have to close it. And the closing signifies the dissolution of the universe. Srishti, Sthiti, Vinasha. We say Vinasha. Sometimes it is, in the previous days, we used to translate as a destruction. God destroys this universe. It is simply a terrible thing. How is it God, who is all merciful, created this universe for us, and then He is going to destroy this universe? But Vinasha, that is the Sanskrit word. See, Sanskrit has got such wonderful connotations. When I speak about Sanskrit, I cannot stop praising it to the sky high. The word, one word you see, Vinasha, you can see Vishesha Purva Nasha. It's called Vinasha. I take this glass, for instance, a glass bottle I take, and throw it on the ground. And the glass bottle is no more a glass bottle. It is gone into pieces. It is destroyed, is it not? A big sculpture. How many places the sculptures, beautiful sculptures have been destroyed? Even in India itself it had happened. Due to foreign invasions, many sculptures have been destroyed. So they are all destroyed, destruction. So the word, does it? Word get destroyed in that sense? No. That's why our sages use it as Vinasha, not Nasha. Nasha means destruction. Then what is the meaning of Vinasha? Vishesha Nasha, a special kind of destruction. it is dissolution. So I give this example. In India, we used to have, when you have a headache, they say, hey, get some aspirin tablets. Then for children, how can you give aspirin tablets? They can't swallow and they don't like to take. So what they do is, there is another aspirin called a dispirin. Dissolvable aspirin. That is called dispirin, the tablet. So dispirin is used. And then you put that dispirin in 1 glass of water and the tablet dissolves into that. Now after its full dissolution, can you trace that? You can't trace the tablet anymore because it is dissolved in the water. You can't touch it. By touch you can't see, by eyes you can't see. Only when you drink it, it goes inside and does the work. But then it is dissolved. So the universe is not destroyed by Lord Shiva. And each activity has got one Devata also. Our ancient sages have fixed it. Creation, Brahma. Continuation, Vishnu. And dissolution, Shiva. So when Shiva dissolves this universe, he dissolves, not destroys. Because only what is dissolved can come up again. Because all the molecules get dissolved and stay there. And then it can come up in the physical form later. That's why this universe is again and again comes into creation. Again and again it gets dissolved. There is no trace of Adi, of the origin. So it is called Anadi. And likewise, it cannot be said that on 27th July, the entire universe will come to an end. That's all, end of this universe. You can't say that. Many people have predicted like the dates, and they also live afterwards also. And they say, no, nothing has happened. The universe goes on and goes on. And one day, of course, it will dissolve. Many billions of years after it will dissolve. There it will dissolve into its previous position. Avyaktam. There's a beautiful word used by Sri Krishna in the Gita. Avyaktam is that which is not vyakta, that which is not yet manifested. Now you see, this unmanifest cannot be realized in sound. When you want to go who I am, as the Vedanta says, I want to know who I am. You go deeper and deeper into that. At that time, the sound of the outside world will distract you. But even in the sound of the outside world, the same Om is lying because Om is a symbol of sound. So it lies there. Have you ever gone to ocean side, particularly Bay of Bengal? We've got huge waves come up in Puri. When you go to Puri Jagannath temple and sit at that near the waves, you can see 10 feet, 12 feet waves are rising and falling down with a splash. And one after another waves come up and rise and fall down, and you quietly sit there in the evening hours. And when the city has subsided, the city noises come down, you can clearly hear the Om sound. If you go to some deep woods and you sit there quietly, and you can actually hear the Om sound. In the wind you get the Om sound. So in many times, even in tap, when everything is silent, you open the tap. At a particular place, at a point of the tap opening, that water moves like this and falls. At that time, the sound that comes in dashing with that pan, you can hear the Om. Om can be heard anywhere. In the running brooks, one poet heard that Om. And you know, the person who commented on Mandukya Upanishad, I'm proud to say, he's from Ireland. An Irish poet, of course, he lived in England, W.B. Yeats. He has commented on Mandukya Upanishad so beautifully. And Yeats' commentary, you must see that, how beautifully he explains this Om. Nothing else is there in that Upanishad. The 12-line Upanishad contains talking about only Om. And that Om, you see, Yeats has complimented and is commented on that. And he is a Nobel Prize winner, you know that. So, this Om, when you want to go inside and listen within you, it's a great, great tapasya you have to do. You have to go inside, turn yourself That's why they say you go to a noiseless place. Sri Ramakrishna used to say solitude. Solitude is necessary in between. I appreciate Ananta Maharaj in England. He's conducting so many retreats. Practically every month you have a retreat here. It is a kind of solitude. Just one instruction I can tell you, just test your mind. Is it possible for you to stay today till the end of the program, the evening 5 o'clock, and then Arati? Absolutely silent. Can you remain? Say, take in your mind, I shall not talk. Unless it is absolutely essential, I will not talk. Let me train my mind in keeping to myself. In Singapore, when I started this retreats, and I have put a specific rule that no devotee will talk to another devotee during the retreat time. Morning to evening, absolute silence. You maintain your silence. Go there, even during eating time. Whenever you speak, your mind comes out through your words to the external world and get connected to the external world, which is not congenial for going inside. That's why great rishis, they observe Mauna Vratam. They won't speak at all. Complete silence. And silence is not merely external. It has to be observed inside. That means internal silence has to be cultivated. And that is how the Om gives that excellent opportunity. Simply, nowadays, say today, if any of you, rather I should say, is deciding to practice the silence today, and you can see one day in a year, it doesn't matter, If you don't speak for 2 hours, the world is not going to fall apart. So just remain quiet and don't speak to anybody and try your mind. Just check whether you are able to stay without speaking to another. Because when you speak to another, as I explained to you, mind goes out. Rather, the collecting of the mind towards inside, turning it towards inside, is the purpose of the retreat. The very purpose of that you have come today is you have not come on your will, on your ichcha, I tell you. It is because that Antaryami, the God who is sitting within you, He is directing you, go and attend the retreat. 900 people may be informed by email, but only 90 people can come. Rest cannot come because Antaryami there is not directing them. They are not ready for receiving such knowledge. And you are exceptionally blessed by God because you have come here and you are attending this retreat. So with these few words, I thank Maharaj for giving me an opportunity to come.